Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Kenny Stahl, and this is Kenny Stahl Live. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. So I needed to talk to you guys because I've been thinking a lot about a lot about life and how I really want to be here for other people. And you know, it's hard because I have my own struggles in life, so I'm not always at my best, you know, and I've shared a lot of personal stuff on my channel. I've talked about my own dealings with emotions and depression and my own mental health and stuff, but I feel like people, like, we should always look out for one another. We should always be nice to each other. We should always try to help out in whatever way you can. It doesn't look like anybody's watching the live stream yet. Maybe I need to refresh the page because I see no comments. Hold on. It's also kind of late at night, so maybe nobody's here yet. Why is this not showing me anybody? Maybe there's just nobody watching. All right, cool. Talking to myself. Oh, there we go. 4 people watching. Now let me wait for the chat to load real quick because I want to talk to you guys. If you have any comments or questions live right now, feel free to ask them. Say something in the chat and I will respond. What is this? I'm just looking at the YouTube live streaming thing and it's like, okay, can somebody just say something in the chat because it's not appearing for me. So I'm not sure if nobody's just typed anything yet, or if for some reason someone's not working right. Okay, it should be working. What is going on? Okay, trying to get this done, trying to say something emotional here, trying to speak from the heart. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we got people saying hi in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. This is just, you know, a live stream for me to talk to you guys, and I really appreciate all of you guys watching me and supporting me, and you know, I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do, and I want to be a part of something big. Like I want myself to personally be able to spread messages on this channel that are positive and that will allow people to feel better and get through hard times. And I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to do that, but you know, it's always hard for me, you know, when somebody watches my videos and they leave a comment and they tell me that they're going through a really hard time in their life and they're struggling and they're depressed or they're lonely, or they say, hey, I'm having an issue with a relationship or a job, or I don't know what to do in my life. And, you know, it's difficult because I don't have the answers. You know, it's impossible for anybody to have all of life's answers all worked out. I don't know if you guys are chatting in the live chat right now. I don't see any really there. Perhaps it doesn't even look like there's very many people watching, so but thank you all for being here anyway. For some reason I just loaded this up and it just looks different to me, but I think it's fine. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for me right now, feel free to ask me. So I just needed to I feel like I needed to talk to you guys right now because I need to talk to somebody. Because I'm spending so much time on my own, just sitting here around the house by myself, and I'm thinking a lot about a lot of deep stuff in life. And I was rewatching, I should say, a little bit of Jordan Peterson. I really get into some of his stuff. And I know that not everybody's a huge fan of him, so I don't like talking about other people. I don't like associating myself with other people, especially like somebody like Jordan Peterson. While I think that he's awesome for his clinical psychology work, I know that there's an element to his philosophy that a lot of people disagree with. So in that sense, he's sort of controversial, even though he's mostly a guy that most people like. So I don't really feel bad about mentioning that I like him. I really like him, actually. I was listening to a clip from him, and like I got chills listening to it because he was talking about a story. This was earlier today. I was watching this. He was talking about a story of this client that he had, this woman who had severe social anxiety and severe it was on the Joe Rogan podcast where he told the story. She had like severe social anxiety where she was like looking around, like she couldn't like look at people in the eyes when she was walking down the street. She had to cover herself up so people didn't see her. And the story gave me chills because he was talking about this woman. The point that he was making was that she had like virtually like low intelligence, to where she basically only had a 7th grade education, and she was put in like a hospital. She was hospitalized for her psychiatric condition or whatever. And I guess his point that he was trying to make, and this was what gave me chills, is that she was not a very smart person. She had so much psychological issues. You could say that her life was not very good. Her life was like so bad that like you don't want to have her life. But yet she still had this sense that she wanted to help the people that she met in the hospital, or that she's seen that were hospitalized, that were like worse off than her, because there were people hospitalized for life because they're so messed up in the head. Like these are people with extreme psychological conditions that they're in a psychiatric hospital or whatever. And it was just interesting to hear him talk about this situation, because it's like, here you have a person whose life isn't going good, not very good at anything. Like, she hardly has anything to give to the world because she's not very intelligent and so forth. But yet she still has the mindset that she sees somebody else out there who has a worse life than hers, and she wants to help them out. And there's something about that gave me chills, because I'm not the smartest guy out there. I'm not the most entertaining guy for sure. I got a lot of problems. You could say that I need help. But yet I still feel like I'm always thinking about other people. Like I'm always thinking about not just what can I do for myself to make my life better, but what can I do for others, And I feel like we need more people that are thinking more about doing what's best for others and not just themselves, and realizing that it doesn't matter how bad your life is, that there's somebody else out there who's worse off than you, and that you can help them. And it really gets you to stop thinking about how bad your life is. It gets you to stop thinking about how awful the situation is for you, because it might be true that you don't have the best life ever. Like obviously, like it might be true that like your life isn't the greatest, but it's just the thing that gets you outside of that is thinking about others. And I don't know why I'm having this moment right now where I'm just thinking a lot about that idea. I'm thinking a lot about the idea that there's so many people out there that are struggling, and I don't feel like I'm well prepared to help people. I don't feel like I'm at a place where I know what to do for others. Like I want to, it's like you want to be a good person, you want to help other people out, you want to support people when they come to you with their problems, but I've got this unique situation where I'm on YouTube and people like ask me like how to deal with personal issues, and it's like, how do I answer you, Eva, thank you for joining. Thank you. I remember you from last time. Are you going to keep going with your gaming channel? I will probably pick up on it because I do like I do like recording gaming videos, the ones that I've played so far, but I mean, first of all, I didn't really think that anybody cared about it, to be honest with you, because I had, I mean, the videos hardly got any views. I haven't even looked at the stats lately, but I figured like nobody really watches these. So I just kind of didn't really care. I kind of just stopped because I didn't really care, but I do want to pick up with it at some point. Find games like I don't know. I'm probably gonna play like maybe some, man, I don't know, like PUBG or something. I don't know. Try different things. I want to do all sorts of games, single player, multiplayer, whatever. But so how's everybody doing? I'm just kind of sitting here bored today. I've been watching a lot of the basketball, college basketball here in the U.S. There's a lot of there's the March Madness going on, and I watched that game last night. Virginia losing, which was, I mean, it sucked for me because I had them winning, but it was incredible to watch that game because it was history made. But I'm sure some of you guys don't even care about basketball, and some of you guys aren't even from the United States, so you probably don't care. I gotta talk about stuff though. It's only been 10 minutes, and I feel like I've been on for like 20. There's not a lot of people watching me right now. I guess it's a weekend. People are probably doing stuff. So I don't really have anything prepared. I was just having a moment where I was just thinking a lot about a lot of stuff and deep stuff, and I thought I'd just hop on here and just start talking to you guys, but whatever. I can't record any videos right now on my camera because the card that you use, the memory card, the SD card or whatever for the camera, all of a sudden said it wasn't working in my camera. So I'm going to have to go buy a new one of those before I can even record any videos to upload to YouTube. It sucks because those things are expensive. Those SD cards cost like, I don't even, like the last, I paid for one that was like 64, is it gigabytes, I think? I'm not sure what it is. Megabytes? I think it's gigabytes. And it was like $60 for one of those things. Like, holy crap. Anyway, St. Patrick's, everybody's out drinking. Yeah, I forgot about that. Today is St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? That's true. I should be drinking right now. Today's a day that, like, I wouldn't mind just being at home alone and just having a little drink for myself. I don't like to drink too much because I don't like the effects of drinking to the I feel, I don't know. It's not that I don't like the effects of drinking. I like getting a little buzzed, but especially if you have like depression, like I struggle with it. Like I just feel like it's not a good idea to do it too much, I guess. Yeah. So, all right, now I feel dumb because I'm kind of sitting here with nothing to talk about, but I'm on camera. I'm live right now for for all of you guys. Yeah, not a good combo. Yeah, I agree. Depression, drinking probably isn't a good idea, which is why I don't want to drink very much. Plus, I know, it's so common to have that people have drinking problems, and it's one of those things where I feel like it'd just be best to avoid stuff. I usually just avoid stuff, like if I usually just don't do stuff like that. My sister pinched me. I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I didn't know it was St. Patrick's Day today either. But I went on some. I saw on social media. I was on like Twitter, and I saw like people talking about it. So that's how I find out stuff now. I find out stuff from social media because I don't know things ahead of time. Wow, this is like the most boring stream ever. So there's not very many people watching right now. Last time I streamed, I got like 20 people watching. Today I have like 8. So thank you all for being here. Just kind of late night hanging out. I've never celebrated St. Patrick's Day. I haven't either. No, I definitely have not ever celebrated it. Don't really understand what it is actually, but let's see, what can I talk about? I'm trying to click around here. I got some notes of stuff that I wrote down because I'm always writing down stuff that I think about because there's like so many different things that I want to like bring up on this channel, stuff to talk about, and but since I haven't been like recording a lot of videos or anything, I'm like, oh, I should probably write this down to save it for an idea for something to talk about in a video. So I have literally a document full of 400 different possible topics to talk about that are relevant to things I want to talk about that I've kind of talked about already on this channel. And yeah. So whenever I run out of things to say, I just bring that stuff. So one thing I've been doing a lot of lately is I've been watching a lot of Don Rickles stuff. I watch a lot of comedy. I always like find a comedian that I really like, and I watch a lot of them. And I've never heard about Don. Like I've never really known who Don Rickles was until, like honestly, a couple weeks ago. And ever since then, like I just started like binge watching his videos on YouTube because that's the kind of stuff I do. It is hilarious, and I love comedians, and now he's probably one of my top comedians. Comedy is the best. Yeah, I've been obsessed with stand-up comedy since I mean, I don't even know how long it's been now. I mean, I was probably 14 or 15 when I started watching stand-up comedy on Comedy Central. They had these little Comedy Central Presents, and that pretty much turned me on to it. I think some of the first comedians that I watched were actually the what do you call them? The blue collar guys like Jeff Foxworthy and stuff. And I think that was my mom and my dad who got me into that. And then I started like watching the Comedy Central Presents. I watched some HBO specials from comedians. And then I don't know how I found a lot of them, but I just started watching, like I would always, like all throughout high school and ever since that time, I've just been obsessed with stand-up comedy to the point where I wanted to try it myself, and I wanted to actually like pursue getting good at stand-up comedy myself. I don't know what it is about me, but I've always just been obsessed with the idea of wanting to be on stage with a microphone and talking to people. Like everything that I want to do in life revolves around me being in that position. And it's very weird because I'm like a really shy guy. I'm super in social situations in life, I'm really quiet and I don't ever talk to anybody. But I feel like my time to talk is being in front of people. Like when I was maybe in middle school or high school, like I wanted to be a teacher because I wanted to teach people and stuff. And then a little later, when I started like being on the internet and watching YouTube stuff, like I found motivational speakers, and listening to motivational speakers just completely, like I felt inspired by them. I felt motivated, and it gave me this sort of an introduction into self-help and the idea of like, hey, yeah, you can be something in your life. Dream big, follow your passions, whatever. So then I was like, oh. Like, I want to be that guy on stage giving the talks because that looks like a lot of fun, and I want to help people, and I want to be, I want to say stuff, Part of the reason why I feel like I want to be on stage talking to people with a microphone is also because being such a very introverted, very extremely quiet guy that I am, and I hardly ever talk to people. Like, I'll be sitting in a room with a group of people, and I will not talk or say anything the entire time. Like it is not, it's probably uncomfortable for other people to have me there because like, who is this guy just sitting there not talking? But from my perspective, it's like, I don't know what to talk about. But that's probably why I feel so compelled to like be actually on stage talking to people, because that's just something I dream about, because I've like, it's almost like this overcompensation for being like what I am. I don't know what it is. I want my voice to be heard and stuff like that. And also, I should also point out that's why I'm here right now with a microphone talking to you guys, is because that idea is kind of what brought me to be on YouTube, is because I want some sort of a spotlight on me, and I'm sure a lot of people are like that. I'm not the only one who wants to be the center of attention, the guy with the microphone. I'm sure a lot of people want to talk about stuff, but so my interest in stand-up comedy was like, yeah, maybe I could do that. Maybe that's what I could do. I thought, well, I could be a teacher. I could be a stand-up comedian. I could be a motivational speaker. I could be a YouTuber. All of these things involve me essentially having the microphone, talking, saying what I want to say. It is kind of a self-centered thing to think about, like, to think like, oh, why would anybody want to listen to me? And that's something I've honestly struggled with. I've honestly struggled with that fact of, well, if you're going to be the guy talking to people, like, you better have something good to say. And I've been really struggling with that lately because I realized that I really don't have anything great to say. And I think that I need to take time, because I'm not naturally a good talker, in the sense that I'm not good at coming up with stuff off the top of my head, as you've probably seen. I'm not the best at coming up with, I'm not good at being interesting off the cuff, I guess is my point. So I feel like a lot of times what I have to do is I have to prepare what I want to say. So when I was in high school, because I had this interest in public speaking, I actually joined into something called Business Professionals of America, because one of the is a competition for like business stuff. There was like an accounting thing where basically it's you go in there, you take a test on accounting or whatever event you're going into, but I chose accounting and prepared speech because I wanted to do a speech, practice giving speeches. And but I did like the accounting one, and literally you just go in there, you take a test essentially that has like accounting questions. Like if you took an accounting course in high school or something, it'd be like that. And then it would be like a local region for you in the States, and if you won, you'd advance to the state level, and if you won there, you'd advance to the has anybody else done that before who's here? You'd advance to the national level. So I joined that simply because I saw that one of the events was public speaking or prepared speech, and I wanted to give a speech. I wanted to learn how to give speeches, and I got second place in the local region, and I advanced to the state level, and then I just didn't do good after that. And I did second in the accounting one as well, and then I tried out the next year, and I got fifth place, which was good enough to get me into the state competition. But anyway, that was a boring story. I don't know why you guys are listening to me talk about this. Let's see. Try NoFap and cold shower every morning. That is something that I would like to try, but I don't really understand what it's for. No one is a naturally good talker, just work on it. Yeah, I know. Hey, Kenny, I need help talking to someone, but I don't know how. I mean, let me know, like, more information about what you're talking about, and maybe I'll just try to come up with something to help you, but no guarantees if I can help you at all. Cindy says, happens the same to me. I want to call the attention, but I feel completely invisible and unable to relate with people or even start a small conversation. Yeah, I'm not very good at conversations at all. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's just my personality where I feel like I don't need anything from anybody else. Like, I don't get much from social interactions. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I guess, like, I think about talking to people as exchanging information, you know? Like, if somebody says, hey, can you grab me that thing over there? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, that's a useful use of your voice. You're letting somebody know that you want them to do something. Or if you're telling somebody like, hey, did you know about this thing that happened the other day that was interesting? Like, cool, that's great information. Thank you for communicating that with me. But it's like, as far as like playfulness goes, like teasing people, having fun, laughing, joking, I'm very, very bad at doing that naturally. You know, like I'm not good at it. I think what it is, this is the truth. The truth is that I find a lot of small talk meaningless. And what I'm looking for most of the time in conversations with people is meaningful things to talk about. So for me, I think it's just simply, what am I interested in? I'm not interested in hearing about a lot of things because they don't mean anything to me. You know, it's like, I don't know. I can't think of good examples. You know, just talking about like stuff in the news and stuff. Like, okay, that's great, but I don't know if I really care, you know. And I feel like for me to become more of a social person, I have to talk more to people about some of that stuff that I don't care about. And I don't want to pretend. Like, I feel like I'd have to pretend to give a crap about some of the things that people talk about. And I don't know, I just feel like it's not me, you know. Unfortunately, that means for me to be myself, it means that I'm just going to be more of a quiet guy who doesn't ever talk to anybody. That's just who I am, I guess. And I guess I'm sort of like just accepting that. Like, I'm sort of just becoming okay with the fact that that's how I am, you know. Trying to become friends, but I don't know how. I mean, certainly it's always a good idea to like when you're talking to people, what I've learned about the sort of social things that like I've always been really bad at is definitely like asking questions is a good tactic for conversations, especially if those questions, well, number one, if they're about the person who you're asking, like people like to talk about themselves, but also leaving them as open-ended questions. Like, hey, what do you think about? And then you just fill in the blank with something that, you know, is relevant to the particular person you're talking to. And you let the person, if the person's really interested in talking to you, you know, and you ask them a good open-ended question, they'll start talking to you. And you don't always have to be the one doing most of the talking in a conversation. You can just ask a question and let them, let the other person just kind of talk a lot. Here I am giving you guys like strategy for like conversations, because I know that a lot of you guys might not be the best at like interacting with people socially like me. Like, I'm very socially unexperienced. But I pay attention to this sort of stuff because like I know that what I need to work on, and I study like, hey, what does it take to be a good communicator, and how do you be interesting and stuff like that. So definitely like people like to talk about themselves, and if you let somebody talk about something that they want to talk about, and not, you know, if you're going to do something like I'm doing right now, where I'm literally just sitting here with a microphone and I'm just talking about myself mostly, and I'm talking about, you know, like I'm not actually having a conversation with you right now. Like, yes, there's people in the chat. Like, you guys in the chat are talking to me. You're asking me questions. You know, I'm really thankful for that. But this is not the same thing as like a real life conversation. So this is more of a, this thing that I'm doing right now is essentially a one-sided presentation that you're watching. Like, this is not a conversation. Like, this is me talking about myself. So, but if you're in real life, the more that you can focus on the other person, the better. The more likely they're going to be, the more likely that they are going to like you, the more likely that they're going to be willing to talk to you more. And if you're going to be in real life doing what I'm doing right now, they'll probably not be interested. They'll probably walk away. If you just talk to somebody in real life and just keep on talking and don't let them say anything, if you just keep on talking and you just talk about yourself and you don't ask them questions. By the way, I should probably ask you guys more questions, but I don't because I'm bad at it. Just reminded me of that. They'll probably find you boring or uninteresting, and I think one of the reasons why I haven't been able to keep friends in my life is because I don't reach out to them first, and I don't. What am I trying to say here? I'm not really a good friend. Like, I'm very bad at being a friend because I'm not even going to get into it because I don't know what I'm saying. People, okay, where am I at? I've taken things to the extreme, but they haven't worked out. Okay. It's the qualities you have as a person that makes for a friend, not ability to socialize. For sure. I mean, as far as like keeping friends, it's not necessarily about your social skills. It is about, just are you a good person, and do you care about them and stuff like that. I find it hard to find people that I click with. I'm not really close to anyone in that sense. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of found the same thing. But I mean, it's hard to find people that you are exactly like, but I think just you don't have to be exactly like somebody to be friends with them. It like this. It is more about like Jamie said here in the chat, like the qualities you have as a person. I think it requires finding someone you connect with on a deeper level in order to feel benefits in spending time with them. Most interactions are empty otherwise. Yeah, for sure. People worth your friendship will recognize, discern, and value you for who you are. That's true as well. That is a good point. One part of being a friend is that you just accept them as a friend. That's the one qualification that I have in order for like whether or not I like you is, are you okay with me? Like, then cool, we're good. But if you have a problem with me when I haven't done anything to you, you just don't like me because you just are a highly judgmental person, or if you just have really high expectations for people, and if somebody's just not a certain way, you don't like them, then yeah, maybe I'm not the best person for you. But if you're open, if you say, hey, yeah, I don't care who you are, I like you anyway, then yeah, I'm cool. So part of relationships is just the fact that you accept somebody, and I think that's what a lot of us are looking for. What am I looking for in a friend? If I could have a friend, what do I want from them? I just want them to accept me. I just want them to like me. I want them to be okay with me, right? That's why if you're in a romantic relationship and the other person just constantly says, I don't like this about you. You need to change this about yourself. They constantly just pick apart your whole life, your whole lifestyle, everything you do. It's like you're not going to want to stay with them. That relationship is probably not going to work out because that person's trying to change you. Same thing, if you're trying to change somebody else, they're not going to want to be with you. They're not going to like you anymore. They're going to walk away from the relationship because they don't want to be changed. People are stubborn. People oftentimes just want to be who they are and not be different. Even if they're not doing something, even if somebody, a lot of people, like, even if you're not doing the best thing in life and somebody says, hey, you should do this other thing because it's better, sometimes you just don't do it just because you like what you're doing. That probably made no sense. It would be nice if I had real examples for this stuff. I'm just kind of talking abstractly. Most people just want someone to listen to them without listening to you in return. Yeah, that's definitely a part of it as well, I just hate the feeling of isolation. I want to get out in the world, but at the same time, I'm terrified to try and make an impression. I want to attempt it, but it is very difficult to meet new people. So yeah, I mean, the feeling of isolation is definitely one of those things where, you know, you just feel alone. You feel like nobody understands you. And a lot of times, you know, for me, I don't know how it is for you, but I know that you know, it's kind of my fault. You know, like I isolate myself. I avoid people. And I have opportunities. I've had plenty of opportunities to either make friends with people, be a friend to somebody, just interact more with others, but instead I choose to be alone because I'm an introvert and I like to be alone. It's natural to me. But, you know, after spending so much time by myself, you know, I kind of realized, oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? I would rather be spending this time with other people instead of being by myself, but it's too late because I already chose to, you know, be by myself. So I just want to just say thank you guys for being here on this live stream. I am, you know, I love talking about this stuff. I know that it can be, I don't know, kind of boring to listen to me ramble on about this stuff, but these are some things that I think I've dealt with in my life, you know, and like not knowing how to talk to people, not being good at making friends, you know, stuff like that. And you know, I like talking about this stuff, so I can answer your guys' questions all day. I don't really have the best advice for you guys, but if you have like a question that you want to ask me as far as like advice, I'm not really the best at giving advice, but you know, I appreciate the time that you're spending to watch this. Yeah, I feel like I can't relax around people either and be myself, but I'm trying to get better at it. Yeah, it is something to think about, is just how do you just be yourself around people? Because a lot of times, you know, we feel the pressure socially. We feel pressure to be something that we're not because we feel like it's what other people would want. And I think one of the big keys to feeling good in your life, to feeling happy or whatever, is to live for yourself and not live to try to impress other people, not try to change yourself to be like what other people want. And that's what I think it means to be yourself. And I think if you can do that at all in your life, it can definitely give you a boost of confidence. It can take away some of the fear of judgment that you have. And I think it's something that I'm striving to do in my life, and I still haven't gotten good at just being myself, because I'm always feeling that pressure. You know, I'm feeling like, what do other people want me to be? And I'm wondering that. But yeah. Let's see. We have, I think shy means boring. You shy because you're boring, you do nothing and have nothing to say. Yeah, I think that's part of it, is feeling like you just have nothing to say. Like, maybe I would talk more to people, but I just feel like there's nothing important to talk about. Like, you know, like for extroverted people, I'm not really sure exactly what it's like to be extroverted, because I'm not extroverted. I'm clearly introverted. But I feel like most of my like, I spend so much time in my head. Like, I just think a lot to myself about stuff, you know. And I feel like that's just who I am. But I feel like maybe with extroverted people, they like to take the ideas that they have in their head, the thoughts they have, and instead of just thinking about it to themselves, extroverted people just like to think by talking. You know, they like to think by, like, asking someone, what do you think about this thing? You know, and I think that's the key for me. Like, I'm not trying to become more extroverted, but I'm definitely trying to, what I've noticed helps me is instead of keeping my thoughts inside to myself, like simply just whenever I'm thinking about something, just letting it out, saying it out loud, because what I found, like I'm a very quiet person, when I'm around people, and sometimes I can go like a whole time hanging out with people and just not say a thing to them. I'll just be there but not actually talk to people. And sometimes what I found is when I have actually opened my mouth to talk to somebody, sometimes it doesn't even matter what I say. I just say any little thing and it sparks a conversation. I love that feeling. Like, because I'm so shy and quiet, like, I value the experiences I do have where I get to talk to people a lot more, because they're so more infrequent. They're so less frequent that I actually talk to people, that every time it happens, it's like, oh, this is great. This makes my day, that I can actually have a conversation with somebody. That's what it's like to be so quiet and introverted, and not even introverted, but socially just isolating myself. Because like today, like I'm just sitting here, I'm literally like just by myself today, like not talking to anybody. It's not true. I called people. I called family and stuff today. I talked to my dad, but most days I just don't talk to people. Where was I going with that? But I love just like being with a group of people and just inserting one little comment and it just sparking this whole conversation with other people. Like, I don't actually have to say much more, but it's weird. I just feel better when I don't isolate myself and I don't socially what's the word? I don't know. 'Cause it's not necessarily isolation, but when I choose to stay quiet, like I just feel like I'm missing out on something. True friends will be drawn to you and everything else will unfold naturally. Just stop holding yourself up against the dam and let the river flow. Shy is associated with humility and maturing, so it's not boring. True friends will bond naturally and piece together naturally. Yeah. Whoa, 2 nights in a row. What do we owe the pleasure? Yeah, somebody was trolling in the last stream, and I think I learned how to block people. I think I have to click report, and then there's a block button. So I'll figure that one out for next time there's a troll. I'll do that, and just not worry about it. But that was fun. Yeah. I think I did a stream 2 days ago. I don't think it wasn't yesterday. It was 2 days ago. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I went over as far as how long I was streaming. I was streaming for about an hour and 40 minutes, which was a long time. Normally I stop after an hour, and I just had I felt good just talking. I wasn't, it wasn't the most interesting stream ever, but it was just nice to just, record something and be here. So yeah, I'm doing it again today. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I spent my life being in my head. I never made any real close friends, and I'm hard to please. There are only few whom I really want to be friends with, and I get rejected. Yeah, I mean, that always sucks when you get rejected by somebody when they don't like you, but yeah. I had people that I called my friends when I was in high school because they kind of let me into their friends group, and I kind of like got to know them, and they invited me like to, I don't know, whatever. Like we would like I would go over to somebody's house with a bunch of people and we'd just hang out or whatever, and it was really cool. and I felt good. I felt like cool. I made friends, but like we really weren't friends. Like I feel like there's just something wrong with me that makes me not be able to connect well with others. Like there was a good opportunity for me to make friends, but it never worked out. We quit talking to each other, and I just slowly just kind of drifted away from them. And that's kind of always been the case. There's always been people like I can tell you about, like, if I just lived my life a little differently, I could be having so many friends right now, but I just drift away from everybody and I isolate myself, I don't know, because it's like I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to be good at being a friend. I don't know how to do that. So I had these people in high school that I would hang out with, and then but again, like, they would invite me over to like hang out, and I would just sit there the whole time not talking to anybody. So there's something wrong with me. Like I never developed my social skills, my social abilities, and it screwed me over. Being in my head too, I don't know. It bothers me to this day because it affects me to this day, and never really felt close to them. I always felt like I was the outcast. I always felt like I didn't belong in that group of friends. And I mean, I guess I was right because they still hang out with each other to this day. 6 years out of high school, they're still friends with each other, but they still talk. I know because I'm friends with them on Facebook. But I try not to think about it because it makes me upset. It makes me hate myself. In my case, I don't know what is worse, being surrounded by people because of my social anxiety or being isolated and depressed. Yeah, I mean, they kind of go together if you think about it, because your social anxiety makes you afraid to interact with others or be around people. That leads you to be isolated, and being isolated leads you to being depressed, kind of, because sometimes when you're depressed, you kind of feel better just by getting out and talking to somebody. When you're depressed, sometimes, not necessarily all the time. It's not necessarily true. You can be depressed and be social. I wonder if depression is just like more common with introverted people. I'm not sure. I would think so, but I don't know. True friends won't judge you for having depression. Again, true friends will accept you and love you unconditionally. I agree with that. Yeah, if you're a good friend to somebody, then you want them to do well, and you want to look out for them, and you'll be there for them through tough times, If you leave somebody when they're, going through a rough time, if you walk away from a relationship because, somebody's struggling with something, it's like, then you didn't really care about them, I think. That's kind of how I look at it. It depends, as long as they're not doing anything to you. Like, if they're doing something to you that's hurtful or harmful to your life, then yeah, obviously, that you have the right to walk away from them. But, I mean, I always feel like people, like I always feel like nobody, like, I don't deserve people's attention. I always feel like I don't deserve to have friends. Like, I don't deserve anything. Like, if people don't like me, they don't like me. It's up to them. But, and I live with it. But, I don't know. Where am I going with this? I have no idea. I'm just kind of here. I don't know what I'm doing. Depression is common in both. Many actors have depression. Yeah, but, I mean, just because you're an actor doesn't mean that you are extroverted. But yeah, I do believe you, though. I'm sure that depression is common in extroverted and introverted. Greg saying, thanks for being sincere, honest, and real. I appreciate it. That's all I want to really do. That's all I can do. I've always been pretty honest and sincere. And I guess, like, there's, like, a lot of people, who are on social media are pretending to be something else because they want people to like them. I know that there are a lot of people with on YouTube as YouTubers who are more open to being real, and I only like people that are real. Like I only like people who are like, I'm attracted to people that are willing to like say it how it is, like not put on a show for people. You know, it's like you can perform, like you can do something on on TV, or you know, if I'm watching somebody on YouTube, it's like, yeah, you can perform something, but the moment that you try to pretend like that's the real you, and you're trying to cover up the real you and what you really think, and you're not keeping it real, then I stop liking you. Like, you're trying to conflate the things. Like, if you can say, hey, this is me performing and this is me being myself, then I like you. But I like everybody. Like, I usually just don't hate people in general, but there's something about being fake that just, I think it turns everybody off. I don't think it's just me. And I like people that aren't being fake. I don't know. Who doesn't know? So I guess there's kind of no point in me saying that. Depression won't keep true friends away. Hardship reveals who your friends are and who is claiming to be a friend. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, you guys got anything else for me? I'm kind of like running out of stuff to talk about. It's been 51 minutes now, and I'm just like I don't really have much more for you guys. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys' time and attention, and I care about you guys. I hope that you guys are doing well. I don't really feel like I have much like to offer right now, but you know, I feel like doing YouTube forever. Like, I don't want to stop like talking about stuff. And I feel like, you know, if I don't have really, like, I don't really have much going on right now in my life. I don't really have the most motivation right now to be creative or, you know, put out positive messages here online. But, you know, I feel like I've got so many years ahead of me that as long as I say, hey, what I want to do is I want to have a YouTube channel where I can keep it real with you guys, where I can talk about this deep stuff about life, and perhaps, you know, like I was talking earlier about socializing and how you can do it or make friends or whatever. Like, okay, I might not have the answers to like solving everybody's problems and helping you like directly through advice, but you know, maybe over time, as I study things more, as I open my mind to learning about, you know, different things that will be helpful. You know, like, I don't have to have everything figured out right now. So that's kind of where I'm at in my life at the moment. Is I'm trying to set up. I'm trying to figure out where I want to be in 5 or 10 years, and I can say, okay, you know, I'm not perfect right now. Like, this is my beginning version of myself. Like, you know how when you know, you're gonna, you know, you just have the clay, and then you want to like, what's the phrase? There's something that goes wrong. Like, you have the clay, and then you're gonna turn it into something. All right, bad example. I'm bad at like giving like analogies or metaphors. But you know, like, I feel like I'm looking ahead 5 to 10 years in the future. Where do I want to be? You know, and I'm not going to be the greatest right now. I'm not like, I don't have a good presence here online yet. But it's like, okay, I know I want to say stuff. I want to go deep into like, you know, figuring out stuff that is related to depression and shyness or whatever. And I want to say stuff about it because I feel like they're important things to talk about. But at this point, I feel like I'm just kind of here, not really saying anything significant. One of the things I feel like people are looking for in life is people are looking for themselves to be significant in some way. I think that's something that I heard Tony Robbins actually mention that in his TED Talk about significance being something that people value, and whether that means you are helping people, whether that means that you're making a meaningful impact. I mean, that's what the whole idea of making a difference is all about. That's the whole idea of, doing something bigger than yourself. That's the meaning that people are. One of the things that is meaningful to people is how can I be significant? And I'm searching for that right now. I'm definitely going through this whole thing for myself as far as how can I be significant in some way. And I've always felt like I've never been significant. I've never mattered. And a lot of my journey is definitely looking for that in some way. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Where am I at? My friend was not driven away at first. Her parents don't support this friendship, but now she ignores me. I don't really know what to say about that. Hold on. We prefer the authenticity, and that is a problem nowadays because people tend to be fake for external approval, and we can't have social connection easily. Yeah. I can't even talk about it much. I may be monitored by the teachers. Alright, I'm just trying to read your guys' comments a little bit here in the chat. I related to your video so much when I was dealing with a girlfriend with depression. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you got something out of my videos. It's hard to say. I just I'm here. I'm just talking about everything I can think about, whatever matters to me. And if you get something out of this, I never know what it is that I say that might mean something to people that watch my videos. But if you get anything out of this, I'm happy. I'm getting a lot from this. Do you like your job? For me, my job is easy. I don't have to think about it. Just go there, do the job, come home. I'm good. Not really fun. I hate being there. I'm just when I get there for the shift to start, I'm looking at my watch. I don't have a watch. I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at the time. Just waiting to go home. The moment I walk in, I want to leave. So no, I guess that means I don't like it, but it's easy, so I'm glad. Like I said, I'm on the radar. You should never change to be accepted by everyone else. If you do, are they really friends? Probably not. Kenneth, there are people who are worth your friendship. Excuse me. You have to be patient. The wait is worth the while in the long run. Don't change for anybody, be you. Okay. Just trying to get caught up on some of your guys' comments. Yeah, thanks. By the way, did you get any ideas from what I recommended? I mean, honestly, I don't know, I'm kind of, not really able to answer your, questions directly right now. Or your comments, I should say. I am probably going to get going, actually. I've been trying to wrap this up. All right. I am done. I am just... It's been good. I'm glad that I got to do this live stream. Thank you all for being here. I mean, I wish I could really get to know all of you guys. I can't, though. It's just not possible with the way things are on YouTube. I mean, there's no way for me to actually know you personally. I appreciate you guys trying to share stuff with me about yourselves. I don't have the answers for you how to for everything in your life, but I will be here just to listen to you if you do need me. And I mean, there's not much I can do, but I like getting on stream and talking. Maybe I just like hearing the sound of my own voice. But thanks for watching. You guys are great, and I will talk to you next time. That's the end of the stream. You guys were awesome. All right, bye.